Hi guys, this is Wenzes, and now I want to talk to you about attention span. It comes from a question from one of our followers, and it was about like how can you really attain like an attention span that's long enough, because most of the time we just don't have enough like force into one area to stick to something. We just kind of like start different things and then we like lose it all. And I was thinking about how to address this and if this was really a topic I could talk about, because I of course always really want to do and talk about things that I have experienced and I have excelled at, so I can really bring value. And so I was thinking about it, and then I thought like it was so counterintuitively, because I thought, well, I don't know how to talk about this. Is there anything I've experienced in that area? And then I realized the only reason why I think that's not an issue, or why this is something I cannot talk about, is because I have completely forgotten how difficult it was for me to like stay in one place, as in a way attention span. I just like had this like aha moment where I remembered how this was just typically me. I was just like everywhere around. I had no priorities and I wasn't going anywhere. And so I thought, well, okay, no, I was completely wrong. I do have experience in that, and I've actually mastered it to such an extent that I didn't even recognize that I was like this before. But this is, of course, something that's typical for INFJs. It's something we naturally tend to have because we're such perceivers, because we have so much of input from each side, because we kind of like pull ourselves apart for everybody around us. And so I understood that. So I was thinking about, well, what really made the difference? And it was about like decluttering your life. And decluttering your life when it comes to energy, when it comes to people, when it comes to circumstances, and so on. So sometimes it's really difficult for us to understand what is important to us, because we are just accepting of everything that is around us. There's all this energy that comes from each side, people's emotions, people's values, society's values, and so on. And the more we take in, the less we can concentrate on what's really us. You know, it's like you have like all this space to fill, and if you're taking so much on from other people, then you're just like this little tiny bit and you cannot recognize what is best for you. So the best thing is to really start decluttering your life and make a priority list in a way of, well, I used to go clubbing, for example. I used to go clubbing because there was like such positive energy and so on. And for me, it was at some point I needed to realize, well, I can't be doing this anymore. My life would be would be more boring. I thought at that moment I would like give up any kind of way of meeting interesting people. That's what I thought. All the excitement would go away. I would completely let go of all those, of all those things. But the people that I was with in these situations didn't have any goals. They didn't have any places they wanted to go. They didn't have any personal important things to them that they wanted to create. And at the same time, I needed to just look at other areas in my life. For example, if you're keeping yourself in a work environment that doesn't represent where you want to be mentally, like I know for myself, I used to have a job and I looked at everything at that moment. I thought when it comes to society, I thought, well, I have a great paying job. I like my coworkers. Like, what more do I want? Now that I'm at a better job, which pays better, and I have much more excitement, things I can conquer, I know that I was just choosing that as a way of, wanting to stay comfortable. And at that moment, I knew that I was not satisfied with my job. Like I knew it, and one of the main reasons why I know for sure is because I was telling myself those things. Well, if you look like from a society point of view, I have this, this, and this, and this. The fact that I'm actually thinking that far, the fact that I'm actually having to tell myself these things, it's a clear-cut sign that this is a clutter in your life. It's something that is keeping you in an energy level that's not getting you higher, that's not helping you get focused. So on the one hand, it's cutting out things that are not good for you, like real energy, like worlds, any like things that you think might be exciting but are not getting you anywhere, that are in a way keeping you down, because nobody in that sphere wants to grow with you. They're all like, either satisfied with their life or so on. That's the one thing. And the other thing is to proactively create situations that get you more excited, that get you into a fighting spirit. Like, we do have to create some kind of urgency for us to go and do something. And our mind is like this. We're not meant to like just sit around and read all day and be completely satisfied with that, unless you read and you learn something and then you can teach it to others and then get like a conversation going and so on. Like this whole sitting around watching video games, watching Netflix, like binge watching over and over again, it's not helping you to get focused, to get like this attention span long enough. Because I remember thinking back, and I really wanted those things. Like, I really gave it, like, I thought, oh, it would be so great if I had enough, like, energy to go out and do something. But it was, like, too far away. It was, like, too much of a difference of where I was at to actually ever think this is possible. But you can attain this attention span by creating, like, kind of like a force that goes into a certain direction. It is possible, and in the beginning, as I said, it's always difficult. Because you narrow down, like you have all this world and you just narrow it down. And the first thing you realize is, okay, well, now it's like maybe a bit more boring. Now it's a little more hard. I don't have that positive energy or excitement or whatever. But you haven't gotten to a point where it's so narrow, it's so focused of where you want to go, that you really feel like you're going places that really make you feel good. So it's something that has a lot to do with discipline, knowing that it will get better, but you have to do the work. You have to be aware that it will get better once you do the work. Once you really decide, like, listen, I want to get involved in this social group. I want to do this. I want to do something that is bringing value to people outside of myself. Because in the end, if you're just concentrating on yourself, it's hard to be positive all the time, or it's hard to really have enough motivation. Once you do things that are outside of yourself as well, which include like not only you, but also people around you, you're much more motivated to kind of like narrow down and decide for a plan A. And in the end, what you do is you have a plan A, and a plan B is not necessary, because you know this is where I want to be and this is who I want to, where I want to go. Because the more you narrow it down, the more you have to put the energy forward. Like, it's not that I'm less full than I was before. Like, I don't watch the news, I don't watch television. Like, there's so much that goes by me that I have no idea of, just because I made the choice of, I'm just going to concentrate on my circle of control and not circle of concern. Because everything that I'm not actively doing something to influence that is not necessary for my life. Like, most people, especially at my work, they will, like, if everybody knew that I'm doing those things, they would judge me for it. They would think I'm crazy and so on. But it has helped me a lot, because all those things I've just cut out in my life that are so like just self-explanatory, or they seem so natural. Like, you don't even realize that that it's possible to cut those things out. Like, let's say you have this thing of, you think, I should go work out, and but I never really get into it. Like, I know I should work out, but you never really do it. And you can never get enough energy to do it. And then you say, well, okay, I go out and stuff, but right now I don't have enough energy to really do something about this. Or, as I said, like, if you want to get involved in some kind of like new things that are talked about in the news, it's a different story. But what good does it do it like for you to just like see war every day and all the misery, when you're not actively doing something to make that better? And it's the same thing with working out. I know everybody should work out. I know it's good for you and stuff, but I personally have found, if I'm at a place right now where I cannot really commit to that, then it's better to just cut it out completely and be aware of, this is not what makes me happy right now. This is not like thinking about it. I know I should be doing it, but I don't really want to. Cut it out, at least for now. Concentrate on those things that really bring you pleasure. And the more positive things you do like this, automatically you get more attention span. Like your attention span gets smaller. You just do those things you want to do. If you want to go out and talk to your friends, or do things like this that really get you to a more positive place, they're not just like numbing yourself out like with just watching a video or playing video games all day, but actually like doing something that is getting you more and more focused on those things you want to do in the long run. Because if you think of your life, do you really think, well, in the long run I want to play video games all my life? You can't think of that if you're a professional gamer, of course. If this is your passion, all the power to you. Like, I'm not even fronting there. I think that's awesome if you can create a life through that. But make it a point then. Make that your attention span. But for most of us, we do so much stuff that is keeping us from having like more priorities on things. We give everything the same priority, and then we wonder why our attention span is not long enough, why we can't stay in one place. You have to be aware of what you want to do. Like if you have like a short attention span because you have to study for a test and it's something you do not want to do, it's a different story, because then you're working towards against yourself. But we're talking about long run things. Like let's say I was in college and I wanted to have like good grades because I wanted to get a certain job. Okay? And because I wanted to get that job because this is the direction I want to go, this is where I want to be, and I like the challenge of it, then I can put like my attention span on that. But it's because there's something in the long run and this is what I have to do in order to get there. If you just like do things because this is what society expects of you, this is what friends expect of you, this is what, all those things happen, then there's no wonder there's no long attention span. But I want you to be aware that it's something that can be improved. And it's like unbelievable how much it has improved. Like, as I said, like in the beginning when I did a video, it was so hard to do it. And now every single day I do something for this channel and it's my outlet. It's like what I do for fun. It's what makes me happy. And it happens because I made it a point to concentrate on those things. And like you've heard people talk about it, habits create all those things if you listen to Tony Robbins and so on, but sometimes it seems like so far away, but it is those steps in between that get you there. And since I personally went through that, and I can tell you that I was a person who didn't have any attention span, who was everywhere, I can tell you it's possible and it's a great feeling, and I really, really want you to feel the same way. So if you can make it a point, let me know what kind of improvements you're making, how you're changing your life in order to have a more prioritized life. Like get to a point where you have like plan A and plan B is not necessary because plan A is all you want to do. So I hope that helped you, and if you like the video, please like it, share it with your friends, and thank you so much for sticking with me, and wish you all a happy day and talk to you next time. Bye.